Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. To celebrate 1,000 subscribers, we thought it would be a really good opportunity to do a bit of a Q&A. We've been asking for your questions over the last couple of vlogs, so we've collated them all on my laptop and we're going to answer them basically. We've tried to do it in a bit of an order that best arranges your questions. So if you see us looking over to the side at all, that is what we're looking at. Please subscribe if you want to see more of our videos. We do weekly vlogs if you're new here of our life moving from the UK to Australia. And yeah, really appreciate all of your support and your lovely comments on each and every video we put out. So yeah, let's get straight into it.
So first question we had is from a very loyal subscriber of ours, which is BG Hype. Thank you as always for your comments. He asked, when did you guys meet and how did you decide to move to Australia together? Me and Trudy met on a dating app in October 2023. Our first date was just a Sunday evening drink. We were there for hours to the point where we had to be asked to leave because they were shutting the pub. So
we only actually had 2 drinks, didn't we?
Yeah,
but because we were there so long talking.
As you can tell that we both do a lot of chatting.
But on that first date, we spoke about Australia. So you were already kind of planning to go with a friend. It's always been my dream to go to Australia. Like my friends and family will know I've always spoke about it and stuff. So we were just like, oh, that would be funny. We literally joked about it. Well, if this goes well, we can go together. And then, so that was in October, beginning of October. By the December, I'd moved into Ed's house, locked in. And following the new year, we were just kind of looking at our life and being like, right, what's our next step? Do we want to settle down here? And we both kind of agreed that we wouldn't be able to move forward with settling down in the UK without fulfilling our dream of Australia. So we basically were like, we know that we're in this for the long run. Let's just do it. Like, yeah, it sounds a bit crazy. We've only known each other a couple of months, but yeah. So March 2024, we booked it 5 months into our relationship.
Yeah, so
that was that.
As Trudy mentioned, I was semi already planning to come, but that was slowly kind of coming apart as we met. So then we kind of picked up from there and decided to just...
Yeah.
We kind of just saw it as, oh, what's the worst that can happen? You just get here and then decide from there. So, yeah, and then from there, it was just only one goal in mind,
Well, I
wasn't
feel like, you know, it was a new year. My uncle passed away. It was a very big part of my life and reason for staying, like, rooted at home. And we were kind of just like, right, if we don't go now, it'll be the year after and the year after. And so much can change. Like, you know, if we weren't saving to come to Australia, we would have saved to buy a house or something like that. So we just thought, you know what, while we're still young and we're able to, let's just do it. And that was that. It turned from a joke into serious very quickly. And also, this was my first and only ever online date. I'd never been on one before, so just putting that out there.
You thought it was a sign.
Written in the stars, basically. Yeah. Next question is off Jeremy Pitts, another loyal subscriber. We always love looking out for your comments and seeing what you're up to as well as you see what we're up to. So Jeremy's asked, why did you originally choose Melbourne over other cities in Australia? The only reason really being is because Ed's got a couple of friends here. I don't know how to explain this one. It's not that they like talked us into it.
It was, I think we ruled out Sydney, which would be most other people's decisions based on expense, basically.
Yeah, we just kept hearing about how expensive rent was, how much harder it was to find a flat there. We kind of are people that like to be settled. We've definitely found that helps our mental state. So when we were kind of toying up the idea of coming to Australia and where would we even start, we knew that travelling wasn't going to be able to be our first priority because of how quickly we wanted to turn it around with saving and stuff. It just wasn't feasible to go and do 6 months travelling first and then find where we want to live. So yeah, we were tossing between the idea of Melbourne and Brisbane. Brisbane, literally, we've got no one that lives there apart from the fact that I thought it would be good because the weather's better all year round. But yeah, you had friends who lived in Melbourne, so that very quickly changed our outlook of like, well, do we want to go to a city where we know absolutely no one or a city where we know 3 people? So yeah,
so that was kind of decision made based on that factor, wasn't it? I had friends here, so it just made every sense to come here.
I can't even remember when we decided.
I don't think it was ever. It was just like I don't think it was ever talked about. It wasn't a decision. It was just.
Well, we were like
happened.
kind of as well. We know that we're going to do 2 months in an Airbnb wherever we go. So if we did 2 months in Melbourne and hated it, we knew that we'd just we'd just switch our location. But luckily, we loved it. Brisbane
came in to conversation after we'd already booked our flights here. We were about coming here and then going to Brisbane. So it was just like default was when we booked a flight, it was to Melbourne.
To Melbourne, yeah. And we
Which
just thought we'll go from there. If we end up hating it, we end up hating it. But
yeah. We never.
It wasn't until we started putting the Australian vlogs out and getting so many comments in our first few vlogs, especially of why have you chose Melbourne? Why wouldn't you choose here? Why wouldn't you choose there? And we were like, oh, hold on, we never even put more than like a minute's thought into it, really.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, Ed's got friends there. Let's head there and see where we end up.
Yeah.
And that's that.
So next question is from Ryan, EE6ID. Thanks for your question, Ryan. What was the visa application process like? And to sum this up, easy.
The easiest part of it. The easiest part of moving
We actually thought that this might, it might take us days. It was the first thing we did, wasn't it? Is like basically, we need to get a visa because there's no point booking anything else till we got the visa.
Yeah.
We, one night, sat down, applied for the visa, and within 5 minutes, we'd got the answer to...
It was approved. Like, genuinely, 2 minutes after submitting it, it was in our email as granted, and that was that. We'll just say that the visa rules, for anyone who doesn't know, changed from the 1st of July 2024. So, working holiday visa, 417, we don't have to do farm work, 88 days rural, regional work. We don't have to do that now. So, yeah, you're allowed 12-month visa for a maximum of 3 times, so 3 years, and that's the visa that we're on. It was 255 Great British pounds, which is about $510. In your application, you have to do your identity, send your passport, picture your passport, criminal record, if you've got a criminal record,
yeah,
etc.
It might not be so easy if you're a criminal, but luckily neither of us are, so...
And you had to do proof of funds, which was 2,500 British pounds, 5,000-ish dollars. To be quite frank, Ed just transferred me the money. I took a screenshot of it.
And transferred it back?
And that was it. Like, genuinely, don't panic if you're like, oh, I've got to save for 6 months to even get the visa. If you know someone who can transfer it you...
Luckily, Trudy does, so...
It's quite funny, really, because it was a bank statement you had to send a screenshot of. They'll have seen that night you transferred me the money. I don't know. It's to prove that you could financially sustain yourself in Australia if you didn't get a job.
Trudy couldn't.
I couldn't at the time because literally we booked the visa before we booked anything else. I was in the very early days of my saving journey. But
Not an era. This time it's a journey.
You can apply for it on the Australian Department of Home Affairs. So it's literally just you create an account with them. You select the type of visa that you want. There's so many different types of visas, student visas, or all sorts. We didn't even really look into it, but yeah, that's the visa we're on, and it was the most straightforward process. Our next question of Life with Will and B, thanks for your question, was how difficult was it to find a rental property? Now, this is definitely something that we thought would be a lot harder, and this isn't going to be the same process for everybody. We know that some people find it incredibly difficult. Even some friends that we know now, they're finding it difficult to get a property, but this is just our experience.
We had it sorted within one weekend. We viewed 5 properties. We wanted this one.
Just a bit back in, we had a 2-month in an Airbnb when we first got to Melbourne, just because, like I mentioned earlier, we like being settled, and that was definitely, we knew that we didn't want to go into a hostel, so that was like a priority for us. And then because we were so conscious that everybody kept warning us that there was a rental crisis here, which there technically is, but isn't there everywhere nowadays, we were very on it. So like beginning of November, we were like, right, we've got 4 weeks left, we better start looking. Like Ed said, we had 5 viewings, and luckily we wanted this one. We bid for 10% over the weekly asking price for rent. Yeah,
we're also a couple, so there's 2 of us, and this is a 1-bed property, so
that helps.
I can't imagine that it's as easy if you do 2 people looking for a 2-bed, or if you weren't, we are literally 2 incomes to get one to secure the cheapest kind of accommodation.
The better that they're kind of looking out for. What I will say is we applied on real estate. We only went for viewings off real estate. I know that there is so many other things out there. If you're solo, you could go on Flatmates. There's a few other apps. I'm not even sure because we didn't even look. I know that there's so many different ways. Oh, Fairy Floss Real Estate, a group on Facebook that people put sublets in all the time, so you can take over someone's room. Lease transfers are a massive thing over here. If we wanted someone to move into this flat and take this off our hands next month, you'd have people lining up at the door, wouldn't you? But that's just our experience. We found it very easy, but I know that's not the same for everybody. Sorry guys, quick interlude there. We had to go and charge the GoPro as it was going to die. The next question is from Stoic Sunhounds, and they've asked, what's the best experience you've had in Oz? Would you like to go first?
I would love to go first, Julie, thank you. My favourite thing that we've done in Australia so far is doing the half marathon. That was the first thing I booked to do here. Before the flights, before the visa, anything, I booked the half marathon so that I knew that I would do it, basically. It was my skin in the game, as I'd call it, which is my investment into the fact that like there's no turning back now kind of thing. It was also my third half marathon of the year. My plan was to hit under 2 hours. I failed at the previous two, and it was the one that I got it done, so everything paid off in the end. I got here, I got the time that I wanted, and yeah.
When I was trying to think of what my favourite experience is, I'm finding it really, really difficult because we've done so many like nice things. We've been away to Phillip Island and whatever, but you know, we've done so many things in and around Melbourne. But I genuinely think that getting our apartment has been my favourite experience, only because it's my first adult rental property. I went to uni, but that's just not the same. It's my first time investing my money into something like this, and furniture, and I just found the whole experience really like, you know, going to IKEA and stuff. And yeah, like 12 months ago, to think that I would be in Australia in my own little flat, it just didn't feel like it was ever going to happen. And I thought, God, you know, surely something's going to go wrong and it's not going to happen. Just give me a proper sense of achievement, and I love it. I love our little flat. The location's great. It's exactly what we wanted. Apart from just living our life day to day here, that has definitely been a highlight for me.
Next question is off Ryan. Have we experienced any culture shocks moving to Australia? Yeah, there's a few that we've listed off. The chilled back lifestyle here. Trudy particularly noted the barefoot, which is a thing. Like
obviously there's so many different changes in culture coming over here. There's loads. You could be listing here for like an hour of how many differences there are between here and the UK. But I think in terms of the laid back lifestyle, like literally people walk around the street barefoot. Not everyone does, don't get us wrong. We won't be doing it anytime soon because God knows what's on that floor. But yeah, it's very, very normal to see people on a day-to-day basis just walking around no shoes on in the shop, on the like concrete. That's a bit of a culture shock. Another thing that we noted down is we've put specifically delivery times / next day delivery. I think we're just very used to a culture in the UK where, you know, on Amazon you can even order things for same day delivery. If something can't be delivered next day at home, you don't order it really, do you? Like very rarely you'll order something that won't come next day. You have like subscriptions so you can get things next day, whereas here that is just pretty much...
Yeah, we might just be dealing with the time of year on that one, to be fair, but that definitely seems the case. Another one that's strange compared to the UK is, it's not that strange, but you get weekly pay or fortnightly pay here, and you pay your bills by the week, and some bills we pay monthly but then we get paid weekly, whereas UK everything is per month, everything is paid per month, so your wages are monthly
at the end of the month, isn't it? Like the 28th of every month people usually get paid, or whatever, like the last Monday in the month, or last Friday was the case for you, wasn't it? Whereas over here it's very rare if you don't get paid weekly, which is great in some aspects because, you know, at the weekend you're like, oh well, I get paid again on Tuesday, but in other ways it's like you're not budgeting as much, are you? So that's why we have been a bit more, is frugal the right word, with our spending? We've just been a bit more
frugals, I think, when you're being Tilly's. Maybe not, don't know.
The opposite of frugal then. We're being a bit more like
flamboyant.
Yeah, flamboyant. We're like, oh, we get paid again on Tuesday, so why not?
And then another one is just how much health and fitness is like bedded into culture here. It is coming to the UK. I think that is the one difference. I think it's just the weather and stuff. Like, it's just so much easier to go out and do stuff here, or at least definitely at the minute. I mean, we haven't done our first winter yet, so maybe that won't ring true, but like it's ingrained that like there's so much before work culture and all those kind of things where, you know,
I don't even think it's just that as well. Like from meeting different people, and we definitely have learnt that like healthier lifestyles is more embedded from a younger age. I think, you know, it definitely is more prevalent in like schools and stuff. Next one is off Steve Thomas. Hello Steve, shout out, family friend of mine from back home. He has put, hi Trudy and Ed, hope you're both okay. Do you have any fish and chip shops in Melbourne, or what is the local traditional dish? Surprisingly, and I definitely didn't know this was going to be the case when we came over here, there are so many fish and chip shops. Not necessarily traditional English ones, there are a few, but they are mainly called Irish chippers. Basically, people have clocked onto the fact that us Brits and Irish want a bit of home comfort every now and again, so they have capitalised on making chip shops, especially Irish chippers. There's two that in St Kilda that everybody raves about on TikTok. There's always a massive line for Northern Soul chip shop and Humble Spud, which is like an Irish chipper. In
terms of traditional dish, I feel like this is a bold shout saying that this is a traditional dish, but the Parma, as you've seen, we went through a bit of a phase that they keep laughing at me at work for, is eating 2 parmas a week or 3 parmas a week.
And a parma, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically, they call it a chicken schnitzel. So it's like a big breadcrumbed chicken breast with a layer of kind of like a tomato passata, Napoli sauce, that's what they call it, and then melted mozzarella on the top. Obviously, I know, I'd die for one right now. Obviously, you can go places like La Roche, where we go, and you get different flavours. So a chorizo one, a bolognese one, a truffle mac and cheese one. People have their variations, but yeah, that is definitely a massive thing over here, a parma.
The pavlovas, which is Trudy's new passion point.
I've noticed that pavlovas are a pretty big thing here. I know that they kind of are in our summertime as well. I think Australians, from what I gathered at Christmas time, it's a really big thing because they were selling the pavlova kits essentially, so like the big meringue bases, and we had one as part of our Christmas dinner dessert, didn't we? So a pavlova is like a not traditional. I know traditional probably means Aboriginal, and we're really sorry that we're not cultured enough on that, but I think they mean in terms of like what's popular dish, not traditional.
Traditional, the thing is traditional gets a bit mixed up anyway, doesn't it?
Well, yeah,
because
like
in England, you could say traditional is going for curry.
No, you'd probably say roast dinner, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but like...
A curry definitely is traditional India.
Well, Parma's definitely not.
Yeah, it just
a Parma isn't Australian, is it?
I think like the question kind of means what's like a popular dish. So yeah, Parma and pavlova seem to be the two standing out. Can't think of any more.
So next one again is off our good friend BG High. He's asked how long we've been running. They've started running and they're up to 5 minutes and they're just trying to keep at it, and that is the biggest piece of advice. So I've been running longer than Trudy. I started running in April 2023. I've done 3 half marathons this year. One in London, which was my first one with my good friend Matt. Second one again in London, and the third one was Melbourne. So that's 3 this year. All you got to do is just keep going. The hardest thing is starting, and it gets easier literally every time. You won't think it's getting easier, and there'll be bad ones and there'll be good ones, but it does get easier over time. I started running because of my sister. She would say the same thing to anyone as well. So like she said it to me, I've said it to Trudy. You just got to stick it out, and essentially it gets easier. The thing is you could be running for a semi-long time like I have, and if I take 6 weeks off, it is hard again. It's always hard because you're always trying to get faster or run further. Like it's not 10k, it's 10 miles or half marathon. So no one's got it easier than anyone else. If it's your first run, it might be a kilometre that's hard to you. It could be someone else's 35th run, and it'll be hard for them because they're trying to go quicker or further than they have before. It's just how long you've been going, basically.
But in terms of starting running, you kind of just started, didn't you? Like you just went...
Yeah, so I just started with the treadmill running, which probably isn't the best idea because it's just a bit boring.
Best to just get out there.
The treadmill.
I started in January 2024, so exactly a year ago now, and I used the Couch to 5k app. So basically, week by week, it schedules your runs for you. So I think in the first week you do something like 60 seconds running, 2 minutes walking, 60 seconds running, 2 minutes walking, like 8 times. Gradually, week by week, it gets a bit harder. I think by the end of it, you're running for 25 minutes straight, and then 28 minutes straight, and then you're meant to have essentially completed it. So I think I got to about week 7, and then I was able to run 5k with my friend Liv. So I didn't actually complete Couch 5k because I think the last 6 runs were literally just run for half an hour, but I was doing that on my own initiative anyway. Yeah, so running with someone definitely helped me get my confidence in how far I could run. Running on my own, then I did in the summer set myself a bit of a goal of getting my speed up, which at the time was working, but I completely fell off my plan when I came to Melbourne, so I'm trying to pick that back up again. But yeah, my biggest advice, same as Ed's, is just keep going and do not run too quickly. Run slow, because I've learned the hard way that you try and run flat out, your heart rate spikes and you feel like you're going to die, and then you're like, I can't run, I hate running, I'll never be able to do it. No, it's because you're running too fast. You literally need to run at a conversational pace. Me and Liv literally used to like have our weekly catch-ups together, and that really helped me understand the difference between running flat out and running slow. Hi guys, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty with our last clip that we recorded, which was just the last 2 questions of the Q&A, which brings us on to the next question. Funnily enough, Kenneth Martin asked, what's involved in editing and uploading videos? What equipment do you need to make videos? Camera, microphone, etc.
So we just use a GoPro Hero 10 that Trudy's work bought her for a leaving present. We don't have a microphone, we just use the built-in one. There's nothing crazy, like there's no crazy production going on. Basically it's just how good equipment is now as standard. We've kind of gone with the attitude of see how long we go at it, and then potentially we'll upgrade somewhere down the line. But
definitely don't think that you need £1,000 camera or you need the latest model if you're gonna start getting into vlogging or making videos. Obviously it depends on what kind of content you're aiming for, but for a vlogging style of video, I would just for now use your phone, and the biggest obstacle that you're going to face is actually vlogging itself. And it doesn't matter what camera you've got, whether you've got an iPhone or the latest DJI or anything like that. It's whether you're going to get a camera out in front of the public
and talk to yourself.
Walk down the street talking to yourself, because that's definitely the biggest obstacle we found with vlogging, is getting over that barrier of not caring. For editing, we just use the free version of CapCut. I downloaded it onto my laptop so that it's easier for me to move clips around, insert music, export, etc. The only investment that we have made in terms of our vlogging equipment is the hard drive. We store all of our footage on here because storing it on my MacBook was completely freaking my MacBook out.
£50, $100, it's 2 terabytes, and we just literally don't put anything on the MacBook anymore. We just put everything onto there, and then we'll think about what we're going to do next when that gets filled. The thing is for us, this is also not just a YouTube channel, this is for us. There's certain things like the elephants in Thailand and stuff like that, and probably like the Melbourne race, and maybe like New Year's Eve are good examples of ones where we will want to keep that. We wouldn't want to get rid of any of the footage, even though it's been cut down for you guys to watch. We wouldn't want to get rid of any of it, so hopefully that'll last us for some time.
We've not had any issues with it yet, have we?
No.
It's been fine, touch wood. And while we were in the process of, so this is a couple of days later if you can't already tell, while we were in the process of filming this outro, we've actually had another question from Daniel Evans, which is, good work on 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to know what you miss the most about the UK.
I mean, the obvious, I suppose, is friends and family. Massively friends, massively family, especially over Christmas, was actually a lot more, I think we've both talked about this to each other, but a lot more difficult than we probably anticipated. We just thought, we'll be having the time of our lives, which we are, but also it's difficult being away from friends and family. It makes you appreciate everyone you have at home a lot more, and just like how easy it is to be with friends that you've known for a long time in comparison to like, trying to meet new people and like all that kind of thing.
Apart from that, we're not missing too much more. Because Australia is so similar to the UK, I feel like if we were in a country like Thailand or in Southeast Asia, like I feel like we would miss a lot more home comforts. Definitely. But you can get 90% of things that you'd get in England over here. I don't think there's anything specifically we're missing about the UK. It probably just is the familiarity of hanging around people that you've known for X amount of years and you're truly comfortable with. Whereas, every time you meet up with new friends or people here, you still are getting to know them.
Yeah, it's like a first date every time.
Yeah, literally. Like making friends over here is like dating, but apart from our friends and family, there's nothing out of the ordinary that we're missing, is there? No. Right, guys, so that's the end of our Q&A. We hope you enjoyed it, and thanks again for 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, if people have enjoyed it, maybe we'll do another one soon.
2,000?
Yeah. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your nan, tell a cat.
And if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button down below, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye.